Rewind the tape.
Hi. We are back with another episode of Wait, Rewind the Tape with me, Natalie.
I'm Ray.
Yay. And this week, we're going to talk about Game of Thrones, Season 1, Episode 2, because Episode 1, this is a pilot.
It's a good pilot.
I think true, but we skipped the pilot. We skipped the pilot and we went straight in for Episode 2. Why did we do it? Because we wanted to see Khaleesi learning how to pleasure her husband, who, quite frankly, didn't really deserve it in those early days.
Even at the end. But yeah, did they ever?
That's the truth. So let's get into it. Where do you want to start? Should we just go straight in? Did you? Oh, I didn't. Yeah, I did not have time. That was the intention.
I wasn't gonna. I only watched it because I was just like, oh, fuck it.
I feel like it moves on pretty quickly. Like Episode 2 isn't where I expected everyone to be at in the second episode. If that makes sense. Like when you were saying Episode 2 is where Khaleesi decides that she actually wants to pleasure Khal Drogo. I was thinking that came a lot later, and that for the first few episodes at least she was like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, but I think there's more that happens later. Like she learns how to orgasm later.
Yeah, but at least I feel that there was more time where she wasn't actually very happy in the marriage, and it was a pretty shitty marriage. But I'm happy for her that it moves along quicker.
Yeah, like they got married in the first episode, which I don't remember.
Yeah,
like that's just insane.
Yeah, it's very pacey.
Yeah, probably too pacey. That's why the first season was so good and the last was so bad, because it's like 7 seasons. Where are you going to take it?
True, but then they also was like, shit, we need to wrap this up. We don't know how.
There's no good way to end a TV show, but that was a particularly bad one. Sorry. No, I'll never let it go.
Should we start then? Should we start from the very south and work our way up? I mean, to be fair, there's not really, it's either deep south with Khaleesi or north. There's not really any. Oh, no, actually, there's the wall as well. Oh, shit, no, there's quite a lot.
Okay, let's.
All right.
You take the reins.
Well, and the reins, exactly. That was a joke, and we're in for a rocky ride. One of our finest. We prepared that in the writer's room.
It was good. I'm sorry.
It was good. And speaking of horses and reins, let's go to the Horse Lords. The Horse Lords in
you meant Khaleesi. I was like, Jesus.
Not yet. She's not a horse. Oh Lord.
She's not a horse.
She's not. Well, actually, she is, isn't she? Khaleesi. That is literally the queen of the horse people.
Is that what that translates
to? Khaleesi is Dothraki, I think.
No, I mean what it translates to.
It's basically it's the it's like queen, right?
Yeah.
But in Dothraki, so
yeah,
Khaleesi or queen.
Oh, Khaleesi. Queen doesn't.
Khaleesi's good.
It's got too many negative connotations.
Yeah, it's been bastardized as well, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh no, it wasn't that. I'm like, I'm really trying this episode to stay the course, and I just was about to tell you something, and I was like, no.
This is a pure power hour of Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Right. So we're in we're over the Narrow Sea. I can't remember where we are.
Narrow is this sea. Can they see each other over? They're like, I thought you were dead.
This is really more of a river. And the thing is, like, why did Khal Drogo agree to marry her in the first place? Because you watched the pilot, so why? Obviously, we know why they want to.
Yeah.
Why the Targaryens? Why Viserys wants to form that alliance?
Yeah.
Because he wants the Iron Throne. He wants to take what he believes is rightfully his.
He's a bitch too, but more about
But
that
what's
later.
in it for the Dothraki? Is it simply like the dowry? And
I didn't know. Yeah, that must be it. I thought it was just because she's like a hot babe of no
and a big family. It's just, I can't imagine that the Dothraki give a shit about the families of the Seven Kingdoms that much, you know?
Yeah, it must be like
it must be the money. I think it was must have been the gold. Because it's not like they're trying to form an alliance to take the Iron Kingdom. They don't give a shit until they do. But that is much later on, and we won't get to that. So the main crux of this is Khaleesi learning how to be a Khaleesi. I got to admit, like the sex scenes gave probably a lot of people watching it some flashbacks. You know, when you're just like, oh god.
Yeah, there's nothing worse than getting it from the back when you're not in the mood for that shit.
Yeah, you're like, what is this person doing back there?
No, you have to be super wet. I have to be super wet to get it from the back. And usually people who like to do it from the back, no shade, but getting you
they've not got you there.
It's not their strong point.
I think that they don't realize the need, the requirement to be super wet before they go in for that.
And it's just like, as a position in general, it's just tricky. But it's also like, forgetting the position, it was just, because I do think sometimes what's the word? It's like, it's been I don't know, I want to say bastardized, but that's probably the wrong word. Like, people like really like it gets a bad rep because it can be pleasurable. Yeah, it can be pleasurable. It's just like, you have to get it right. That for me is like, has to be the final formation.
It can be very uncomfortable as well, though.
Yeah, because it's like, it can be uncomfortable. It can be very unpersonal,
demeaning. Yeah, and sometimes you don't.
That's what I mean. Like, I feel like it gets a bad rep. If it's
in that situation. In the Khaleesi Khal Drogo situation,
it's very rapey, though, wasn't it?
Well, exactly. It was.
When you're not. No, when I've definitely been in a situation where I've just disengaged in that position. I'm just like,
exactly. You just like,
what's for tea? I don't say tea, but still. Yeah, it's because it's like, you're super distant. It's like, it's not very intimate if you haven't, like, if you go straight to that position, it's just, and it's kind of a bit like it's literally called doggy style. It's like animalistic. Sometimes, but all positions are animalistic. This is the thing, there's no way to talk about sex without making it sound problematic as fuck. All I'm saying is, if most people orgasm clitorally, most people with vaginas orgasm clitorally alone, and it's just like deep penetration, although it can be pleasurable if you're extremely wet. If you're not that wet, if they haven't done anything to you and they're trying to put it in, that's just painful. Yeah. And it's not even about penis size, it's just painful, full stop. If somebody tries to penetrate you with anything while you're on all fucking fours from the back, sorry, I think I'm going too much into detail. But yeah, it's just it hurts. And it's also like, she didn't. No, you say.
I was just going to say, also, like, you have to go on your forearms as well. Otherwise, it's just too much. My core's not strong enough. My arms and shoulders aren't strong enough for that.
I've got to say, like, it used to be a lot easier for me to hold myself on all fours, and like now lately, even when I'm doing exercise, like it's just like I've never had a lot of core strength, so don't get it twisted, listen. All fours is like light work, right? But holding my arms get so tired now.
Yeah.
Lie down.
Can I lie down and do nothing? If we really must do this.
I meant when I was working.
Well, fair enough. Like, can someone stretch me? Can I just lie down and someone stretch me, please?
That's why I've gone to like just weights classes. When I start a class and it turns out to have body stuff in it, I get so annoyed. Do you know how hard it is? I've never been able to hold my own body weight. Look at the size of my wrists in comparison to the rest of my body. Like, I'm not physically built to hold myself up. And I know people say you can do wrist exercises, but I don't. So now what?
And I won't.
Leave me alone.
Yeah.
I've always hated burpees, but now it's like,
I absolutely hate burpees.
I'm just like, where are my boobs going? It's just a lot going on. Even as I'm talking, my boobs are jumping up.
I resent it when the instructors are like, "This is a team effort. So if one of you like doesn't is if I can see one of you slacking, then I'm adding time." It's like, leave me alone.
Also, what happened to, it doesn't matter as long as you complete the exercises.
They always try that I take this slowly and my form is good. I don't want to hurt myself by trying to go crazy. And I can't do
and it is better, by the way.
Yeah. So burpees can fuck off. And any instructor that expects me to do a full burpee, you can fuck off.
I can do them at my own speed. And by a full burpee, I mean not chest to floor.
No, I can't do it that.
That's in weight classes, like honestly, and in general, they're always like, oh, it doesn't matter, do it at your own pace. When you're doing weights, I feel like even when I've done weights to the trainer, they're so much more patient. They're so with you. They just want you to complete it with good form. It's all about the rep. It doesn't matter how long it takes you. But for some reason, when it's body weight, suddenly everyone loses their mind. It's like, bizarre. Because it's usually men that push you. Women trainers that I've had, they push you, but in a very like different way. They like challenge your strength of spirit. Yes, I'm biased. I'm prejudiced.
So sue me.
Yeah.
Don't sue me, please. Right. So back to Khaleesi and Khal Drogo having sex.
Oh God,
Horse Lord style.
Yeah, I forgot. I've already gone off piste.
It's very related. It's very related to what we were talking about.
Yeah, I don't think her upper body strength was the problem. She was just like, please stop
fucking over it. Yeah. Why do you only have one position in Dothraki? I think that's the issue. It feels like the Dothraki aren't really in it for, pleasure.
I'm sorry, but those Dothraki women are shoving your face in their pussy. Like they don't strike me.
I don't think they are
getting head. But when I was watching the wedding, was it the wedding? No, the wedding when they were like dancing and stuff. Unless they just hadn't hashed out the details, I'm not really with the whole savagery storyline anyway. And this Aryan princess has to teach the Dothraki king.
Yeah, but first she had to be taught, but by another white woman.
Who was molested. Thanks.
Yeah, true.
I do not remember her being 8, 9.
9, no, but it was 12 when she first touched a man, right? I mean, still terrible, but writers, come on, guys.
No, but it's not their fault because like they have to make it kind of historically accurate, and that's still
historically accurate. What are you talking about? This is not an actual real world. It's not
sorry. I just mean like no, but they
not historic, realistic.
No, like they had to make it like it's still, even though it's fantasy, it's still a period piece.
Yeah, but
some of it
we make those rules, don't we? Humans are making those rules that a period piece automatically means that the women always have to be, trafficked and used as sex slaves.
Is real.
I know it is, but it doesn't mean that writers have to actually be like,
she was 9.
It exists here. So when they're not making something that is historically accurate, because this doesn't, they make the history. They could have been like, she sold me when I was 12 and it was 3 years that I touched a man. Like,
I thought it was supposed to be like, we feel, because I remember feeling really, like, I felt really bad for that woman, because I was just like, God damn. But as somebody who's no longer like watching this under the influence, and I'm sober and I'm listening to it, I'm like, this is fucking harrowing. And like, they're trying to give it to me in a fun way,
in a sexy way. Like, no, because she was like, oh, I was just looking and learning, and then I went and fucked all the guys, and now I can teach you. It's a bit much. It's a bit much. That storyline was
from Hollyoaks. They love.
She was from Hollyoaks. Yeah,
loved her, Louise. Shout out to Louise from Hollyoaks. I loved her
so much.
I don't know, you know.
And who did she date? That guy, Wayne. Oh well.
I mean, not in Hollyoaks, in Game of Thrones. Sorry.
She had a good stint at Hollyoaks. She was a cornerstone character for a while.
She really was.
I wonder if when they were filming Amelia Clark, aka Khaleesi, knew her from Hollyoaks. And also like Natalie Emmanuel.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. I used to watch you on Hollyoaks. That tickles me. I don't know what more there is to say on the like Targaryen Dothraki.
Just that I hate my brother.
Viserys,
so he's the worst. But there is one line where that's in the pilot. I don't know. I think they were laying it on a bit thick with him, but I still hated him.
He's awful. Yeah.
Basically, he sold his sister.
Do I think he's attractive? Yeah.
Do you?
Oh, look, I have like.
There's something. Let me not get into it. I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to say, some of you and your Mr. Hudson hairstyles, it's not for you. That's all I'll say. It is not for you. Who am I to judge? No.
Get a refund.
It's a DIY. Anywho.
True, because they lost. They had to flee the Red Kingdom. They had to free. What is it? I don't remember any of the names of any of the things anymore.
Me neither.
King's Landing. They had to flee King's Landing, and they probably don't have good barbers across the narrow sea. Although I doubt that because,
it's his hair color. It's not the cut.
Oh, the cut. Yeah, but it's that
so severe.
Yeah, but it has to be, right?
A warmer blonde.
No,
or a silver blonde would suit him better.
But you've got to remember how long ago Game of Thrones was. At that time, maybe a silvery, ashy blonde wasn't in.
What are you talking about? Tony and Guy made the silver blonde pop in the 2000s, and no one has been able to let it go since. They could afford all of that. They couldn't afford just one decent colorist. Come on. Sorry, guys.
You've got to look at everybody. Everybody's so young as well. Like baby Arya. I will say, baby Sansa.
Oh, she's a baby.
Yeah.
God, I hate Sansa. Sorry. I know she's a child. She's literally 13. I felt bad. I'm hating on a 13-year-old.
Yeah.
I remember why I never liked this character.
But you've got to remember, or now I can remember watching it, we know what it lies ahead for these characters, and I find it really painful.
Depressing.
Yeah, I don't. It's not. It doesn't make for easy viewing. Yeah,
no. Except for it's nice to see Daenerys become who she's supposed to be. But not in these episodes, obviously, not in these early episodes. But at least we know that by the end of season 1, she's gotten rid of that godforsaken brother. She did it for the girls, man. She freed herself.
Yeah.
She lost her baby daddy, but she gained herself.
But also, I guess, I don't think I'll keep watching it, but at what point, I just feel like there's a real about turn in their relationship when he suddenly becomes her sun and stars, and it's like he was
they learn to speak to each other. Like this episode too, like by the end,
no,
is like
true.
the first time.
Yeah, she doesn't speak Dothraki before.
They first like start to speak, and honestly, like strong sexual intimacy can make a relationship survive any any stuff. And anybody out there who is not immediately thinking of a time where they were like, oh god damn, you're right, you're a liar, unless you're an asexual person, which I wonder what that, but then it could be the same, because you know how some, anyway, let me not go off the course. Let's stay. What's next?
Okay, I think let's go all the way up to King's Landing now. And I just want to take a moment here and talk about Catelyn Stark. Because she is, and I used to love her. No, I always like didn't like her. She always used to really annoy me, and I feel like she kind of still doesn't in some episodes. But she's a bad bitch, the original bad bitch.
This is so interesting. I always loved her. I do not remember her treating Jon Snow like a piece of shit that she just brought in from outside on the bottom of her
ship. I would remember it.
That's why people hated her. I was like, why is everyone beefing with this woman? She's an amazing character. She's so protective. Her dialogue is one of the best. Like, I didn't get why people didn't like her. But honestly, it's like, is Jon Snow the one that had sex with your husband? Hello?
And he's not even his bastard son. And I know one could know that.
I know that makes it worse, because it's just like, Ned, why did you not tell your wife? But also, like, even if he is, why would you treat, after all these years, you're treating that child like they've personally offended you, like, and it's just like, it's too much for me anyway. I'm just like, and I've seen it with my own eyes. I've seen it happen in real life, and I just think, not quite in that situation. Well, I've heard about it. I haven't seen it. I'm lying. It's just not right.
And there's also, I don't know, there's other stuff about her that I just can't put my finger on that I've never really liked. But just I didn't like, although it's entirely fair that she was falling apart because her son has, somehow been found at the bottom of a tower and no one knows what's happened. That's entirely reasonable. But it did kind of.
And then she cracked the case. She picked that hair up and said, that bitch.
Yeah. No one in the North is blonde.
Blonde of hair makes a real thing, is a real thing in this story, let me tell you.
Yeah.
Blonde of hair.
In the books as well. Everything's of hair, yeah. That's how a lot of the sleuthing gets done. It's just like, and something like Gendry being black of hair.
Yeah.
So he's obviously a Baratheon, whereas Joffrey.
Yeah, I love that. It's funny that it's not funny. Sorry, didn't think about what I was gonna say. Well, I guess I laughed. I've never really like noticed the incest story.
What? The things that you notice and didn't notice are wild. You're like, Catelyn Stark is amazing. Oh, brother and sister doing something in the tower.
Because it all happened in the first episode. And in that first episode, it was like, somebody was like, let's watch this show. It's hype, but that person's like a real TV nerd, a film nerd, loves it. And I'm just like, what is this shit? So by the end of the episode, I'm like, I'm intrigued. Let's watch another one. I'll watch it next week with you. But I wasn't like, but this time I'm just like, honey, I've just always accepted that Cersei and Jaime were doing the nasty. And also, like, I was very educated at the time. You've got to remember, I was reading a lot of books. So my mind was expanded. Like, now I read things on Twitter where everyone who's really small-minded just gives their opinion relentlessly. So it's just like all the pathways in my brain are gone. Then I'm like, oh my God, I see it from a dullard's perspective. I'm going to hell. No, seriously, I remember I'm going to hell.
You're going to hell for calling people who were shocked at an incest in
I'm sorry, but that is such a basic way to shock people. Oh my God, incest. They always do it in EastEnders as well. It's like when Sharon's getting with her brother. It's just like, grow up and write a real script.
They did it in Hollyoaks as well. Do you remember that?
That's what I mean. It's just like, it's definitely way more evolved than some of the storylines they usually try and give us. Like two young women who are both attractive don't get along. A next level. Oh my God, the man that you didn't expect turns out to be into same-sex relationship. Like, I'm sick of these things. And then way, way, way above that is, oh my God, incest. But it's still like, give me something. Don't try and shock me, basically. I hate trying to be shocked. Like, I'm not going to be shocked. If you try and shock me, I'm just going to be like, okay, cool. I'm just going to accept it. Do you know what I mean? You're like, oh my God, but these twins are in love with each other in a show that's based on a family who have been incestuous for hundreds of years. And now you want to shock me with this when you're showing me that Targaryen boy rubbing his sister's breast and she's visibly uncomfortable. But I think she was actually uncomfortable in real life because she didn't want to do that scene. Like, sorry, guys, maybe we need a trigger warning for this one.
I forgot about that. Well, because I didn't watch the pilot.
Like, you can't serve up so much messed up stuff in a time where you're telling me incest was normalized. But now I'm like, oh my God.
But incest could be normalized, like in the family. It doesn't mean that the siblings, that both siblings are willing participants. Case in point, Viserys and Daenerys.
No, most that I've known, most incest is never
consensual.
Yeah, that's
one-sided.
Yeah. But like, even there was this brother and sister on TikTok that just found out they were related, and they've got all these views on their videos because they're like, we're staying together. Just like, next. I don't give a heck, honey. You're consented and
if you're happy,
leave me out of it. I don't want to be involved. We all have our own drama.
Yeah. But I wonder if maybe like Jamie and Cersei could have just waited till they got back to King's Landing.
Oh no, they just had to have each other in this strange room.
Let me sneak into some disused tower.
No, but that just really shows how much they couldn't stop doing it. But when did they start? How old were they? Sorry,
I think they've been doing it forever.
Oh my God.
Like, okay. I think it was
no
never.
Judgment.
Yeah.
No judgment.
Like, you know, when you're kids and you just like, I think that they just were always. Sorry, it sounds very odd. Like they were just always together.
Yeah.
And doing things like at the same pace and
do not do.
Exploring each other. And I guess they just didn't it was all very natural to them. So
listen,
yeah,
that's their business. The only reason I care is because they pushed a little boy out with it. Jamie's a fucking dick. Jamie is
absolute dick.
But and so much of that is put on Cersei, but nobody's asking him to.
I can't believe that no one, I'm sure that there were rumours though, but like Robert Baratheon, come on. Do you really think that these are your kids? Oh, he was a dick.
He was an alcoholic. And he also, like, I think to a certain extent, he was just like,
didn't give a shit.
Don't, like, leave me out of it. His attitude was worse than mine. And it was his life.
Think that why would he accept kids or heirs that were not, that he didn't think were actually his blood heirs?
Because he didn't have any others. Didn't his child with Cersei die?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just like, listen.
Yeah, but at that point, he could have been like, well, I'm getting rid of you.
And so
it just feels weird that
he with her. He could. Do you remember? It was like a blood pact, basically. That's the only reason he married her, for the money.
Well, I don't think it would be unheard of to have a bastard child. Although I guess what's his face, Tywin Lannister would never have allowed that. Anyway, yeah, I agree. I don't think he cared anymore.
Yeah.
Wait, going back to Caitlin, I just thought it was great how she defended her kid, and then suddenly was like, "Okay,
treatment of
now
John
I'm
worse.
leaving."
So she's going to defend her
that
kid.
Juxtaposition. Yeah, slash her wrist.
Her hands. Yeah, like she is. Oh, that's why I like her. She's a ride or die. Like she physically will fight for her family. Like she fights for her own. Yeah. But then John comes in to say goodbye to his brother because he's leaving for the wall, and she's like, "Get out of here!" I'm just like, "You're a cunt." Like, why? It wasn't him that.
Like, what's his face?
He didn't cheat on you.
Also, Bran isn't here because of anything that John did. Like, there's no connection. Because she couldn't even be like, "Oh, they came to visit you, and that's why they were here." You know what I mean? It's like he wasn't. There's no connection here.
No, but she just hates him. So every time she's around, she's just like, "Get that little
vile,
out of here." Like, as far as she's concerned, she just wants to live life and never see him. Which I just think of a person so loyal, that seems crazy. At some point, no, like I'm sure there's people out there who have someone's had a baby on them, right? That's what they call it when someone's like with you and they have a baby with someone else. At some point, you either have to accept that child or leave. I know she's not leaving, but you would have thought after all those years, how old is he? Like, he looks like, is he supposed to be like 21, 22?
No, I think he's supposed to be like 15.
What?
They're all supposed to be so young. I think, don't hold me to this, but I feel like Rob is supposed to be like 14 in book 1.
Oh, grow up.
Well, sorry.
I'm sick of this
what's
show.
his face is George R.R. Martin is just on one. Game of Thrones.
I know I can't remember. Sansa was 13. That's the only one I remember. But she looked like a baby. John, you couldn't tell me he was less than 20.
Rob ages from 14 to 17. Sansa from 11 to 13. Oh, no, wait, okay. I think Rob, so that means when Rob dies at around, okay. Right, so Sansa is from 11 and then she's 20 in the final season.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, but Rob being 14.
That's
even Rob being 17 is a bit much.
No,
that's a stretch.
18, 19, I'll let you have it. I don't believe it, but I'll let you have it. Any younger, you're taking the piss. But yeah, John, shout out to him. Was John the firstborn? I always thought he was the second, but he can't be, can he?
No, I think John was I don't think there was much in it because don't have the same mother. So they're like around the same age. That's true. But Ned as well.
Ned isn't even a good liar. So who believes
not a good liar. And why can't you just say to Catelyn, can you please fucking give it a rest, okay? He's a good lad.
Yeah, he loves that woman so much. He lets her treat him like shit. But the thing is, he still has a good life, if that makes sense.
Well, it's a better life than a lot of people.
The entire emotional neglect / abuse element. He gets
on with his siblings, maybe apart from Sansa, but no one gets on with Sansa. But what's her? Catelyn even treats Thingy's ward, Alfie Allen. What's his name?
Fuck. I forgot that was Alfie Allen.
What's he called?
Theon
Theon Greyjoy.
Not me turning into Alvin and the Chipmunks. Theodore.
Catelyn even treats him better.
No, she's beefing with him way too much, and I feel like they should have toned that down. Like, I get it. She hates him. He comes in the room, she's like, get the fuck
out
of here. I don't want to ever see your face in these streets again. This is my house. Okay, relax. We get it.
Yeah.
Every time I see you, I remember that Ned was out in these streets with women I didn't know about. Like, I get that anger, but not directed at a child. Like, if you don't calm the fuck down, watch if it happens to me. Watch how I react.
Okay, so let's move on. I don't feel like Rob really does much.
No, he's just looking pretty. No shade. I appreciate it.
Yeah, looking pretty and
it's not
acting badly.
His look. Okay. I don't think that's fair. I think, and this could just be personal because, you know, I don't like this character. I think Sansa was giving him a run for his money. When she was at the court and she was like, what did she say? Not lady didn't do anything. I was like, oh my God.
Aya is acting her socks off.
No, she is good. I don't actually remember her being that good. She's good.
No, I thought that they were all pretty awful. Not like, again, and I mean this because they were young seasons. And they're not seasoned child actors. You know, but some child actors, you're like, wow. Matilda, I didn't think that with anybody. Oh yeah. Fantastic. But that's why she was booked for all the shows, all the movies, every single one of them.
They still did a good job. I just think at the beginning the show was generally a bit awkward, but you don't really notice that much.
I mean, some of the actors are terrible. Some of the adults are just as bad, if not worse. So,
oh my God, in the pilot, this is nuts. The very first scene, probably the worst actor I've seen in the whole show. I'm just like, why would you cast him in the first scene? He's like the Lord. You know how in the Night's Watch, like if you're a Lord and you get it and then you're like immediately in charge.
Yeah.
So he's supposed to be a dick. But I'm just like, honey, is this GCSE drama? Get me out of here. Spoken like someone who's never had to do it for sure. But it's just the other two actors were like really good. And it was giving privilege. I don't know. Just because it's just like, did they book him because he can speak like that? Like, because it's definitely not the acting.
I can't remember who was in the first scene.
I'll send you a link. If I can find it. HBO probably scrubbed it from all corners of the earth.
Okay, Rob, sure, fine. So
Theo, annoying.
Theon, also annoying.
I am really bad at this.
Theon doesn't get good until he has his redemption era, shall we say.
No,
because you just hate him too much. No, you hate him so much. He's so fucking
when he
annoying.
Betrays them.
Yeah.
Doesn't he have a bit before that where he's decent? Like, I feel like in season 1, when they're all together as a family, he does get better. It's just while they're trying to establish who he is, it's just like, stop. I hate character establishment.
But he doesn't, because I think it will happen quite quickly because he stays behind in King's Landing. Sorry, in Winterfell.
Yeah.
And that's when he turns, when there are no Starks apart from Bran and Rickon around to actually rule the roost. That's when he turns and becomes a fucking tyrant.
His sister was brilliant though. I'm not saying he was a good character, but his sister? Yeah. When I think about the people who acted well, sorry, not what we're talking about. I also think, I don't know her name, Emilia Clarke. I do know her name. Khaleesi. I think from this jump, her acting is just chef's kiss. I think she's brilliant. Amazing. Although I feel, I don't know, obviously watching her scenes are like not fun in these first 2 episodes. Just like, God. But yeah. Can't wait for her brother to die.
And what a death. Death by molten gold.
Show me that skull bone. Ned, I can't remember his name either. He's like a Ned really Stark. Famous actor.
Sean Bean.
Yes. He's also brilliant.
Do you think?
Yeah, I think there's awkward scenes, but I think he delivers.
Maybe I'm just being really harsh because I just feel like everyone's terrible. Maybe I'm.
No, I think it's more the awkwardness of the start. I just feel like it's really like.
It's before everybody's got the chemistry with each other.
Yeah.
You don't really know
fluidity.
when they're like, yeah.
No, I take it back. His accent is terrible to begin with, but his accent is brilliant by the end. But
that is his accent.
No, not Sean Bean.
Oh right. I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure that's just how he sounds.
What is his name?
Who are we talking about? Tyrion?
Yes. What's his real name? Sorry, I screamed.
Peter Dinklage.
Yes, thank you. Sorry.
That's how I knew.
I knew his name. He is accent horrible, but acting also very good. Yeah. Guys, I know nothing about acting. I just mean when I'm watching someone, how much do I believe their character? That's all. I don't know anything about acting. I don't know anything about that lifestyle. I'm speaking as a novice, just watching.
Sometimes, but like John's questions, like, why do you read so much? Why does anybody read?
Yeah, but if you think about him being 14
and being 14 and going off to the wall. Come on.
Why are you the way you are?
Yeah.
Let me tell you everything about myself in this little monologue I prepared earlier.
What do you see? You've said that before, Tyrion. Come
Absolutely.
on, you've rehearsed
Tyrion's a shit stirrer. But I do like how the thing I do like about the Lannisters, as messed up as they all are, they are able to the way they just walk around so fearless, winding everyone up is great for the show.
Yeah.
Because they don't give a heck.
Confidence off the charts.
Too high.
They know that they are, or at least they feel like they're untouchable. And in many ways,
sure.
And they're the bank.
Oh. Yeah.
They've got all the power.
But Cersei is getting the raw end of the deal. I'm not talking about her brother. Jesus Christ. Sorry, I don't know why it's getting to me so much now. It really didn't bother me before. It's none of my business.
Yeah, I mean, Robert Baratheon is gross.
He is. I like him as a friend. A distant friend.
No way.
Interacting with me, he'd be a nightmare.
So not a friend then. We don't like him at all. The way that he talks and just speaks to, I see what you mean. Sorry, I thought you meant as a friend to me.
No, he's the kind of person you'd want to go to the pub with until he's had too many. And
no, he's not. And then he gets handy. Yeah. You that's
what I was saying, a bad friend to me.
He's spitting all over you. He's leaning in too close and his breath is all hot. And he's looking at your breath.
Yeah, but that's to me.
So he's not the guy you want to go to the pub with. He's the guy that you unfortunately see at the pub who all of his friends have left because he's annoying. And then he has to latch onto your group of attractive, hot young girls.
What group is
this? Sorry, I'm just thinking about back in our younger days, say at the Barley Mow or the Bricklayer's Arms. You know what I mean? That's
that did happen. You're right. But again, those people are functioning alcoholics. Shout out to them. So are we, maybe. I just didn't know that was a thing.
We won't not want to unpack on the air, but
no. What was I going to talk about next? Who else is there? Okay, so that whole wolf thing, we realised, what's that little prick's name?
Joffrey.
He's too good. I see why he was getting death threats.
Because I hate him, Joffrey, not the character, the actor,
not
obviously.
The actor.
But then I also thought that his acting was terrible, and that's part of the reason why I hated the character so much. But maybe it's not, because maybe his acting is good, because you do think you're a pathetic, whiny little shit, an entitled, whiny little shit. So he plays it well.
And then it makes you think back to when you those kind of situations that you'd get into when you speak to myself. I was always in trouble when I was younger, causing a ruckus. Maybe I was onto something. Maybe all those other kids were terrible and I did not deserve to be punished. How about that? Okay.
Possibly, yeah. He is a real shit. And you got to just
symbolism
also think,
of Lady
Sansa,
dying. Is it Sansa? Is that Sansa, like, her whole life is about to be ruined because of that? Like, is that supposed to symbolize like her,
the loss
like,
of innocence?
Yeah, first I thought loss of innocence. Then I was like, no, her whole life is about to go to shit. Is it like her chasing this like dream of being a wife, which is essentially like really fancy, like, I'm not making light of slavery, but like, oh no, I shouldn't say that. I said that in my dissertation when I've regret it since. Sorry, guys, flashbacks. Honestly, having to write essays when you're just not academically seasoned because of life, you haven't learned enough in life. You can read and know everything, but you will ultimately always be a novice just because you haven't lived enough.
So cringy thinking back on the way that I'd structure sentences now, but actually probably a better job than I do now because I just have no practice.
Way better job. I was a much better. No, I wouldn't say I was a better writer. I'd say I was just, my ability to absorb the information was more.
True. But I do think actually must have been quite cringy for teachers reading essays. Can
I just say I would just like to formally
in
apologize.
Conclusion, this and like, yeah.
I feel so bad for the woman who had to mark my dissertation because she was the only Black woman professor at the University of Leeds. And I just know I cringe about it to this day, some of my thinking, because it was like very heavily influenced by new wave feminism, which is kind of very whitewashed. I'm so sorry you had to read that. I know there were bits in there that were really solid and made sense, but I'm sure there were like at least 2 points that I can think of that was just like, she must have been like, honey, you have no idea what you're in for.
You need to, yeah.
Good luck.
The next
but it's
few
interesting,
years.
Honestly, because at the time this is the crazy thing about sorry, we're going off place again. Well, no, it kind of ties into Sansa. You're trying, so people tell you to behave a certain way and be a certain way because you want to live up to this ideal, but you're actually, that is oppression, but you don't know. So she's trying to be this like lady, and then she was like, oh, my queen, I want to be a queen, that's my biggest dream. And she's following these people who are even in that moment, I want to call him Joffrey, but what do they call him?
Joffrey.
I was like, Jeff?
Joffrey.
Jucifer? Joffrey is in that moment already showing how vile he is, but she's been so brainwashed, and I have to remember she's 13, that when she's like, you're ruining it for me, terrible acting, but she's just like, she's delusional. She's like, instead, you're ruining my fantasy of what my life is going to be like, because she's like been groomed for this life.
But I just wonder how has she been. I want to know how she's been groomed for it, because it's not like, I don't think that's what she would have been taught she would have been growing up. That doesn't feel like the Starks feel very like, maybe you would have married like a Lord of Winter, a Lord of the North.
Because the Starks are when you remember, the Starks are the highest family, and they're still one of the, like, there's only a few families that are actually that big time.
No, I get that, but I just always think that
and she's
they're
very beautiful. Outside,
they're the stewards of the North, and so they would have always wanted to keep it in the North.
No way.
Because Ned never wanted to go south. He was basically.
But Catelyn wasn't even from the North. She's from the middle.
Yeah, but that doesn't matter because she married into the North, so she became a guardian of the North, and she like
but it's not like
all of her like Riverland.
It's not a closed case, and his sister was fucking on a target. Sorry, that was rude.
Yeah, true.
Jon Snow's mommy was getting it.
I just don't. Yeah, it doesn't feel like she would have been surrounded by loads of people being like, "Oh, being the queen of the whole of the Seven Kingdoms."
No, for sure, no. But she's like, she's still, I don't know, I feel like that when I don't know, watching it the second time for sure, I think that whole like idea that they're this like really down to earth family kind of is shattered a bit. Yes, compared to the other like high houses, whatever, they're still fucking lords and ladies. But and look at how connected they are. And not just that, like she's got this like all these ladies maids, like she's like they're like everyone's always telling her how beautiful she is. She's like a pretty little princess. She's doing her
yeah. She and then Cersei shows her some favor, and
and now she's in Fantasyland, and she's like, I can be queen. And everyone is gassed when the queens come in. They're like, oh my god, because they're like a famous family.
And but they're all still, like, and she can't see that they're all still just being nasty to her, making fun of her. Oh, you don't have the right hairstyle.
But I think that I've been in that position many times in life. And sometimes it's like a defense because like, people are being cruel, but to bypass it, you have to just kind of like shut it out a bit.
Or yes, convince yourself that their cruelty is for good reason. So you therefore need to conform.
It's not even that. It's just like you feel so ashamed because you're not in the majority. So then you just conform anyway.
Yeah.
Like you don't have time to like process it, and then after a while you're like fuck off. Whereas Aya is more like that from the jump, but then sometimes even like the ability to tell people to F off, sometimes in life you can't, like you're in too much of a vulnerable position, which is shit. But yeah, but with her it's just like your delusion.
Yeah, it's a delusion for me.
Rise in Spanish.
Poor Sansa. She's an idiot. But
in this episode, though, just on this episode, she is an idiot. She's young. She's an idiot, and it's just like,
and she didn't do what I do in that situation. I probably would have just. She did. She pled the fifth.
No, she lied to protect a man, and then she paid the consequence of it.
Yeah, but she didn't lie to say. She didn't back him up. She said, no, "I don't remember." And that's like in that situation. I guess at that age, caught between, would you have been like, "No, I is telling the truth," and sacrifice your shot at your dream?
I was really tight with my siblings. He started. No, I was actually quite tight with my siblings. I would have liked to plead the fifth.
I think in front of the whole court with the king there, I might have just been like, I don't know. I don't remember.
In reality, that probably that wouldn't have been. I was more like the
you would have been
yeah. And I think my sister would have stuck up for me, even though I was a little shit. She always had my back. She was very protective. And then if that was my younger brother, and first I would have been like trying to plead, but when I saw that he was going to get in trouble, I would have told the truth because it would have angered me.
I think if
somebody was trying to
be like, fuck you, that's not how it happened. But then also, I guess in the face of it being the King of the Seven Kingdoms and the power, it's like the power dynamic there is
it's
massively
I
outweighed.
Can't even fathom it because it's like that's scary actually.
Yeah.
I love that I just started him up. Just classic kid. I'm just going to beat you up now.
I'm going to throw your sword in the river as well.
That is, oh my God. The one thing I wish I didn't do, I still do sometimes, still do things like that. Like just really childish pay things. But I'm just like, really, you have to grow up at some point.
Never.
Like, I would still throw that sword in the river. Like, I can't hit you and I don't want to start a fight, but I'm going to do something so petty. I'm going to get you back.
It's not petty. He could not have been trusted with that sword. She saw in him the fucking like
menace. No, he did have that, not like That was a bit
nasty,
much.
violent, like cruel streak.
And the butcher's son got
super
killed
malicious.
anyway.
Yeah.
For doing what?
Lady. For playing.
For playing with a lady, though. Do you see what I mean? These aren't normal people.
But it wasn't. That's not why. It wasn't because he was playing with a lady. It's because Joffrey's a prick.
True. He just wanted a fun.
Yeah. He wanted to assert his power. That's it. And also, Arya humiliated him. She embarrassed him. Doesn't matter. He doesn't give a shit.
He embarrassed himself.
And that's the truth.
Yeah. Yeah, he was horrible. But yeah. I feel like we talked about everyone except for the Hound, but there's nothing to say.
Not yet. There's nothing to say.
He's not scary. He's just there. Like, everyone's always like, he's scary. He's scary. It's just like, is he? But yeah, they
again,
do treat
knowing what we know, and also we know how much, not just he kind of coming through in the end, but he saved the trauma, and also he saves Sansa from her trauma several times.
When you see, but even when he went to speak to her in that moment, I felt like he was, when before Joffrey came over and was like, "Hound, get away, you dog," or whatever.
Yeah.
The Hound was actually, sorry, I just called him that. He was like helping Sansa.
He was being, he wasn't being a friend.
Scary.
No,
and he doesn't seem scary at all. He seems like he's like actually like coaching her. Everybody needs a coach in that kingdom. God damn, you can't be out there on your own.
Yeah, and that was a good ally to have.
Oh my God, give me a best marksman. I'm not trying to fuck with anybody else.
Was the Hound a good archer?
No, I don't know what that means. I just said it.
It's a
sword play.
Shot, arrows or guns.
Oh yes, hitting a target. I thought if you were good with a sword, you could be a marksman. No.
I don't think
I always get at the heart.
Yes, that's about it. And
we'll definitely come back to this at some point.
Oh, what we didn't really talk about the wall. I suppose they only just got there.
Yeah, you just get the sense of impending doom in the pilot, where it's just like a dead girl comes back to life. But having known how that ends, I'm like, please spare me. Get out of here. Nobody's scared of that Night King. Okay, I do have to tell you something which I've been dying to tell you, because literally it comes into my head every other minute. It's something for the nerds out there. You will probably be like, please stop. Okay, this is why you need to start listening to more rap music. Pusha T has a line where he says, "Summertime, Winterfell, I'm the Night King." And I just think that it's just like, because it's obviously sorry guys, I can't remember my poetry phrases, but the beat pattern,
the stanza, a rhyming
like
couplet.
No, it's like
pentam.
No, I'm just mean the word to get the pace,
the rhythm, the beat,
I guess it's the rhythm, but it's like da 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 da
tempo
da 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 da. I don't know, it doesn't matter. But it's just like kind of like he'll make a statement and then he'll say something to like flip it on its head. So when he says summertime, Winterfell, that's like where you are. And then he says, I'm the Night King. It's like, but I'm the villain. And it's like, oh my God. I don't know, it's so nerdy, but that line had me in a frenzy.
You're looking around like, anyone else hear that?
And I'm by myself. And I told my brother, and he was just like, you fucking nerd. Get off my phone. Like, I will call him to tell him stuff like that. But I just thought it was such a good way to say it. Like a surprise, I'm the villain.
Yeah.
Because normally everyone, like, when they talk about Game of Thrones references, they want to be like the hero. But he's like, no, I'm the Night King. I'm like, I'm the Night King.
The Night King had... He was,
He turned that
really
dragon.
Oh, that was, we all thought it was game over. And in a way it was.
It was. That's when the show went downhill.
Yeah.
But yeah, shout out to everyone involved for giving us 7 seasons, man. That's not easy.
Was it 7 or was it 8? No, 7. Yeah.
Should have been 6. But I don't think there's a show in my lifetime that has been bigger. Maybe EastEnders in my life, personally.
It's a bit different, though.
Very different.
It's a different kettle of fish, isn't it?
Yeah, but I just talking about like pure hysteria. It's just Game of Thrones and
for this generation, yeah.
Yeah, in my lifetime.
Yeah.
Yeah, that show had everyone on the ropes.
And across genres as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Across, you didn't have to just be like a fantasy person. Fantasy.
Yeah,
you
true.
just do you like fantasy? Do you like
drama?
Do you like sex?
A thriller?
Do you like porn? Do you like You don't have to like all of these things, but you know, the Venn diagram, there's a lot of intersections.
Family
You'll
dynamics.
find something that you'll like, yeah. But God, woven tight. Have you ever watched it with a family member? We wouldn't let our mum watch it. We wouldn't let our mum watch it with us.
I'm just so much more sensitive now than I used to be. I've really life makes you so sensitive. Oh, maybe I've just the therapy. Maybe that did work.
But maybe the therapy surely therapy should
make you less sensitive.
No, not sensitive. No. I mean, and who am I to say what therapy should and shouldn't do for you? I don't know what you're going for. Yeah.
No, but I was saying has noticed how sensitive I am.
Therapy maybe should make me less squeamish about watching stuff like that with my parents.
Oh, it's just made me now I'm just more squeamish. Now I've realised how messed up everything is in the world.
We were, maybe a bit desensitized before. And when you watch things again, it's like...
Yeah, and it's easy to like intellectualize everything when you're young and just like, that's what I used to do. I was like, I'm smart. Now I'm like, I'm dumb and I'm scared.
What's the significance of Lady dying? You're still intellectualizing.
No, but I know they're trying to feed me some bullshit. But then Bran wakes up.
Now? Yeah. We're now more sensitive and also paranoid. What is it that you're selling me here?
What's gonna happen now?
Why?
No, because it's like a death of an old world and a new life is born. And yes, I can see how Bran is the main character.
It's like the death of the death of the old ways. Like in the north, they followed the old gods, whereas in the south, they follow the new. And Sansa is kind of having to step away from that old life. And the direwolf is the very symbol of being a Stark. They've literally killed what is... they're killing out, they're stamping out the Stark in her. They're stamping out her fire and her fight.
So
that's it. Oof.
Her innocence dies, and a lot of the story is about her pain and her trauma, and it's like a revenge. It's constantly like almost like her being avenged. So I guess
fight against, she's constantly battling against who she really is, and then she
because she's like she's like a woman who's like trying to be she's trying to play out a gender role that is basically serving her back oppression and disaster. And then when she like lets go of that, she's like, a phoenix is born. Oh, and she did play the phoenix. Nice. That's the actress, not Sansa. Obviously, Sansa did not imagine to fail.
Sansa's like,
become an X-Men.
Fucking hell! I can't believe that everybody voted for Bran to be the fucking king of the world. I'm leaving this shit.
Honestly, Bran is very much, seeing it now, I can see he could easily be the main character. The problem is the way they did it. What they did wasn't bad. The way they did it was like, so like, I've given up. Even the way the conversation unfolded it was just like, what is going on right now? Did I write this? Because it's bad. Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, the first season is phenomenal. I would say, even though I know a lot of horrible things happen, we've like kind of glossed over them, but like it's still
not
a very
yet.
good season of television.
If we're just looking at season 2, it's fine. Yeah.
It's a lot of shit. We're talking about Daenerys crying through it's just like, oh shit, man.
Yeah. But we've talked about the main things. I don't think we've missed out any of the big things.
No. Oh no, I just meant to anybody. I know we're not selling the show to you, but it is, I think, because it's full of horrible things, but it's still a good season of television.
It's worth watching for sure.
Yeah, they had me in my feelings for sure.
Yeah,
we'll circle back.
Twists and turns. It did make me think maybe we should have done a pilot episode and final episode. I just don't know if I can go back to that final season.
We can still do that. I feel like we're probably going to do Game of Thrones like 1,000 times. So, we'll do every configuration. It is a show that I really don't mind dipping your toe into.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if George will ever finish the books. Oh, sorry, not even finish them, even just if he'll write another one.
He maybe has, and he's just not going to ever release it. It's too much pressure.
That's what I mean. If he's going to publish it.
Nah. Because if I was him, I'd put it in my will so that it's like, listen, you guys can fight about it, but I refuse to listen. Okay?
Oh, when somebody will write the fan fiction version. Somebody will pick it up.
No, I mean, I would write it, and then when I pass, I would say, I'll put it in my will that they should release it so that no matter how people feel about it, I don't have to deal with it.
I wonder if he cares. I guess it's hard not to care. He really left it on a cliffhanger. There's a lot of loose threads in the last book.
A loose thread.
Oh, we've got House of Targaryen coming up soon.
Not looking forward to it. Will I watch it? Absolutely.
Of course. Yeah.
Every week. We may just do that, might become the podcast. But that's not the point.
Listen, if we didn't do that with Bridgerton, we're not doing it with anything. I'm not doing a week by week. True, but it just won't be as it came out. It won't be our fresh reactions. It'll be our,
because they're the ones who give it to us. I'm sure they'll stop doing it eventually on Netflix. They'll start like giving it to
doing
us
a weekly. Yeah. Don't you fucking dare. I don't feel Netflix rarely do that though.
Yeah, very rarely. I can't even remember when they've done it, but they have done it. They did it with Genius, the Kanye West documentary. That's the only one. That's the most recent one I remember. But they do.
Is that a Netflix original?
Yeah.
I feel like the only ones where they haven't done it where it's been weekly is when it hasn't been a Netflix show. It's just one that they've got.
I think it's I don't know if it's purely licensed because Kanye West was tweeting that Netflix need to let him in the editor's room before it's released. So I think it was,
gameplay strategy.
Yeah, I have to send you a video. Sorry to be problematic, guys. No, I won't say it. It's just a video. I'll talk about it offline. And if Natalie approves, I will tell you guys to go and watch it. It's nothing to do with Kanye West, by the way. It's about a sports. Sorry, guys, I'm really tired, so I don't know what's. Yeah. Goodbye. I don't know.
Really. We've talked about everybody. I'm sure you guys all watched the show. Why don't you let us know what you thought of season 1, episode 2? Because I'm sure you're all going to go rewatch it now after our riveting summation of that episode. So you can message us on Instagram at waitrewindthetape. You can send us a tweet at waitrewindthetape.
Nobody's ever sent us a tweet. or an email. And I would like to receive. No, actually, I'm lying, because if we actually started to receive emails, I think I'd find it too formal.
Just send it. Just comment on our posts, or send us a DM, or
DMs
don't.
are the only things getting read at the moment. Swiftly
we'd read comments if we got any.
Delete.
We would.
Before I've even read it, delete.
Tune in next week, guys. What will we talk about? Who knows?
Who knows?
And that is the fun
knows?
and joy of this show.
Life is a roller coaster. Bye.
Bye.
Rewind the tape.